Liverpool, Arsenal. No, I'm all a week behind.
You trying to erase Sunday already, bro?
Where's going?
Arsenal, West Ham.
Breathe.
Yeah.
I know it's all going.
And you know what? That's the second time I've done it. I spoke to someone yesterday. I was like, "Oh, that Liverpool game." They looked at me like, "Are you okay?"
The title
on
running.
the shoulder, like, "You're right." So look,
Same thing happened.
For those that haven't seen the game, I don't know where you've been. Yeah, Arsenal go 2-0 up relatively quickly. It looks like another slice and dice from incisive Arsenal team. The much celebrated Thomas Partey, he makes a bit of a lackadaisical move in the midfield, tries to flick the ball past Declan Rice, and then 20 seconds later we have a penalty. They have a penalty. West Ham have a penalty. They score, and in my mind, watching that game, that moment, and I know people hate putting entire shifts in mentality on one moment. But I do feel watching that game, that moment there, just that sequence of events, everything just seemed to go downhill from there. Not immediately, but it started. Do you see what I mean? It just started from there. And we've been called bottlers, you've melted 2 weeks in a row, etc., etc. First things first, I don't think it was handball. Let's clear that. I think it hit him in the stomach. Some Arsenal fans are still telling me now in WhatsApp it was handball. I don't think it was handball. However, the penalty, he was on his way down before Gabriel got anywhere. He left his leg there. What, am I clutching? Talk to me, please.
I'll let you go. I'll let you go because you're an Arsenal fan. I'll let you go.
I felt like you
was gonna go. I was gonna just build on where John took us.
Do your thing.
I think that was a good summarization of it, but I think we need to set the scene here. I think we need to actually really give it the due build up that it deserves. Coming into this weekend, 8 games to go.
Yeah.
And like.
You've
got a comfortable cushion over Man City, who have
comfortable subjective.
I mean, you could have afforded to lose to them. You could have afforded to lose to them.
Okay,
mathematically.
Yeah. Let's do that. Mathematically afforded.
They've kicked into gear, as Keith warned you about many times. You have to go to London Stadium and leave with 3 points.
Agreed.
And in typical Arsenal fashion...
No, don't say it's typical.
Yeah, I think that's harsh. You can't say typical.
Yeah,
I'm letting him cook. I'm letting him go. I'm letting him go.
Let me cook. Okay. It's a little harsh because usually in typical Arsenal fashion, they would have bottled it by February.
Oh, okay. I see where he's going.
So we're doing it.
We're in April,
okay.
So they've extended it. Okay. So, okay, maybe not typical Arsenal fashion.
Right. Missed a week and this is what he's coming back with. All right,
I'm ready. I'm energized. I'm good to go. And you off the back of last week, you don't bounce back. You have a 2-0 lead. And like you say, something happens, much like the last game where the whole Xhaka Trent incident happened. You've now crumbled. And that now brings me to my point of, do you lot have the experience or the know-how or the right manager to manage these situations? Like what's happening?
Wait.
How are you going? How is it back-to-back capitulations?
Can I get him?
Well, wait, let's do the incident. That's why I wanted to go through the incidents, because I think it's important.
Round one.
The sequence of stuff, the way it happened. Before we get to the macro, can we manage these games? That's why I wanted to go through the sequence, because there was that penalty.
I just wanted to give a bit of aura, that's all.
And then there was now the second sequence of events where Saka misses the penalty, then they score 1 minute later.
Yes.
Do you understand? So that's why I wanted to go through that. Go on, T.
Right, so... Mate, this is getting harder.
Listen. You know what? I was going to say, like, T's been the most ardent Arsenal fan throughout the whole season.
No,
and this is the first time I've seen you.
No,
not even dejected, but he's just a bit. He
do
doesn't know what to say.
Okay,
so I'm a bit shocked.
I'll give you your due, because from October, T's been like, we're going to do it, we're on it. Even a couple of weeks ago, I said, I don't like it, etc. And T was like, nah, man, I like it. Let it go to the wire. I like it.
Yeah, because what are we here for?
No, I'm here for
What do we-
certainty.
Nah, man. Not after 8th and 5th.
Mm.
Nah.
But
I
know
want to
what you
be.
mean,
I want to
but-
be in it, and we're in it. So
Chest.
with the Liverpool one, I looked at it after the fact, and I thought, you know what? Away, Anfield, saw how the game was going. Cool. Point. I'm calm. We're still in the driver's seat.
Mm.
Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
West Ham, we had to get 3 points.
Yeah.
Saka penalty.
Yeah.
You can look at so many things, innit? I think it was just how we played deserved being that. 2-2. First 10 minutes blew them out the water.
Mm.
Then it just all kind of just wasn't the same after that. It's like we just sat back a bit, didn't kill them off,
Yeah.
and then whatever happened. But that is probably the first time I've seen Arsenal play so bad. Individual performances so bad. Partey, you haven't not a bad word to say about him
Mm.
for the season.
Mm.
Best DM this season, in
Mm.
my opinion. I just think I'm not saying we're crumbling.
But what do you say to the game management point though? So between the players and the manager, there's an element that people are saying it's one of two things, right? It's poor game management coming from a bit of. So I was saying we were crumbling, but other people are saying actually it's slightly arrogance because the players didn't see worried enough. They thought, we're gonna score. This is gonna be okay. And actually, the clock went down, and as you say, poor performances. I'm seeing Odegaard misplaced passes. I haven't seen that in ages.
This is
What
what I'm
I
saying.
found, what I found confusing, well, not confusing, just I'm a bit surprised at is that take like the Villa game and the game against Bournemouth,
Yeah.
where you guys were kind of under the cosh in terms of teams have taken the lead against you, and you've kind of got to show the fight to get back into the
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
and you done that. Like you went behind, you're like, you know what? Arsenal are going to win this game, or they're
Yeah.
going to get something out of this game. It's the fact that, take the Liverpool game aside, the fact that you've gone 2-0 up so early against a team like West Ham, who've kind of been a bit indifferent and struggling, and you just haven't got the
Ruthlessness
to go on
when
and
we're
just,
leading
just kill the
go
game.
3-4.
and that's it. And like
Like how United used to do.
Yeah.
and how Man
Or
City,
like City are doing now.
Man
No.
City have done over the last few years, and it's just weird that you've got the mentality to get back into a game and show the grit and determination, but the mentality to, and especially at this point of the season,
Yeah.
to be like, right, we're 2-0 up. Why are we not going to close this
Yeah.
game out?
Yeah.
2-0
then-
up in 10 minutes. What going to half time 3-4-0?
Experience, like what you lot were saying as well, though.
Mm.
City, they've been there, they've done it, they got Pep, they know what they're doing.
Mm.
And they're just seasoned in this.
And do
in
you think
this
there's a-
38 games.
Go on,
But
Isaac.
Arteta came up under. He was there with Pep and City.
With what
was it,
players?
2 seasons?
With what players?
Top level players, but he was there through the game management. He was
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
through the seeing games
Yeah.
out. So steamrolling teams and then having to have the mental fortitude to then remain competent and not get complacent and see the game out. I feel, to your point about Odegaard or getting sloppy or arrogant, that's where Arteta then has to step in
I agree.
and shake it up. All right, big man, you've missed a pen.
Mm.
You're not really in the game. Come off.
Yeah.
Put someone that's hungry. Speak to Reece Nelson or whoever, ESR, and just say, listen, you've seen what's happening. I'm dragging him off. This is your opportunity. We've got 7 games left. Show me why I should, start putting you in for
Yeah.
these 7 games.
Yeah.
That's where, as a manager, you need to start
So
earning your coin.
no, I agree, and I think overall I find it difficult to, and everyone knows, like I'm turning the bus round on Arteta in it, but I can't sit here and criticize his overall game management when he's had a season like he's had, right? But there's a thing about seasons, right? This is why sport is done in seasons like this, because those things become more and more important as we get to the sharper end of the season. And I think at Liverpool, he did something that I used to criticize him for. He's taking a bit too long. You're looking at the game. I think you could do it earlier. He did it a little bit earlier than he has in the past. I was like, all right, okay, cool. You're doing that. But then the substitutions he made, I don't think were the correct ones. And then again on the weekend, but I actually do think in this West Ham game, I think it's 50-50. I think there were some things Arteta could have done something about. and there's some things he couldn't. Because the areas where he can replace with the right quality, well, he's got Trossard, right? That's the area where you can say, okay, if I switch it up a bit, but even then, as much as I thought Jesus was losing his head a bit, swapping Jesus for Trossard is not a like for like. If you're swapping Martinelli for Trossard or Saka for Trossard, cool. So I don't think he has in all the areas the tools he needs to swap like for like. Whatever he takes off Odegaard, you just see the difference immediately, and I think that's why he's reticent to do it.
But at the start of the season, we saw us going in front and controlling games, start to finish. That's what we was doing. In the middle parts, you saw the comeback games where we might have gone
Got a bit sloppy.
Yeah, we might have gone behind. Blah blah blah. You saw the fight, them come back, him making changes. Blah 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 blah. Now we're at the business end, and the spotlight is on him. Yes. When something don't work, now we're saying, "Oh well, his game management. Well, realistically, all season he's got it right.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not going to criticize his overall game management, but in these 2 games, his game management is part of the problem, not all of it. Because I do think against West Ham, there's a lot there that he couldn't do about.
Okay,
I think Liverpool was more his.
Can you say the subs that he should have done for the West Ham game?
I think after the Liverpool game, I think he should have probably taken off. I think he should have kept Jesus on for what he brings and at that time. And Trossard coming on should have been for probably Saka. Like, I know he doesn't like taking off Saka. I know we keep Saka on because of his very, very consistent high execution. Even if Saka's played rubbish, something drops him 89th minute. So far this season, he's been the guy to tuck it away.
Sorry, on Jesus, has he completed 90 minutes since he's come back from injury?
No.
I don't think he has.
No, he hasn't.
So
I don't think so.
I think that's kind of a game management in terms of
his injury.
His
that's
fitness
fair.
level.
That's fair.
Because like I said last week, he would man of the match, my man of the match against Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's what I said against Liverpool after he shot.
And he's not a guy that knows how to throttle his game. He's running around like a...
That's why he has to be taken off.
Yeah.
Because he's going to run to left back, right back.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of taken out of Arteta's hands in terms of we've got 8 games left.
Yeah.
I'd rather him play 90 minutes the last 4 games of the season than...
But that goes back to T's point about
4.
What he has to change with. What tools has he got on the bench to change with. And aside from Trossard, who's been a great addition, no disrespect to anyone else, but is there any other areas of the pitch where you feel like you're getting a relatively like-for-like quality replacements?
Too many injuries.
That's where we need to get better as a team.
KT and Zinchenko, I'd say, are like for like.
I think they have opposite.
But in terms the levels don't drop as drastically as what you say Jesus and Nketiah.
Oh, it's just a different level of intensity.
Yeah, and I think defending-wise, it goes up. Because but and attacking wise it goes down. But West Ham is an attacking one, kind of balance. Because even if you go back to Liverpool very quickly, I was with a good friend of mine and he was screaming, "Get Tierney on!" Because at that time, Trent is like he'd eaten a mushroom in Super Mario or something. But he was killing him, and then literally 2 minutes after that, he nutmegged Zinchenko, boom. Yeah. And I don't think you nutmeg Tierney like that. It's easy for me to say now, but slightly different thing. Sorry, go on.
So something interesting that I came across over the week is that when you're challenging for the title in this age, you have to be perfect, right?
Man City around in it.
You have to be perfect because the levels that Pep and Man City have set
and Liverpool
90. No, but even as Liverpool, we had to be perfect for that one season, right? In order to win the title. Yeah. Since then, we haven't attained those levels. We haven't attained those levels. Whereas Man City have gone from strength to strength. They've maintained, and in some cases, sometimes even outperformed themselves. For Arteta, the reason why I'm maybe a little more critical in terms of his game management is because
he was there.
Number one, he was there, so he knows what to expect. He knows the coup, right? And to T's point, you started strong. You showed a different side in the middle. Your end has to be strong. You cannot afford a dip. These 2 performances, you can't afford to do that because Man City, to beat Man City, you have to.
There's a technical aspect to it, but T, go on. You first.
Can I
there's a technical
say,
aspect there.
To your point just there, that he knows. So he knows what he has to do. He knows what he's up against.
Mm.
But has he got the tools?
Good question.
And he might know I haven't got the tools right now.
Mm.
I haven't got the tools right now.
You
And
might
I'm
not
trying
have the
in
tools.
every session,
Mm.
I'm trying to build them. I'm trying to do different
To-
things
to
in the
get the
changing
most
room
out of
to
them.
get the most out of these players.
Mm.
But I know, in all honesty, Man City are the serious team.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
But we're here now.
What
so
I would say is, though,
I have to try.
I think if Saliba plays those last 2 games, I think there might be a different outcome. I think the drop from, like John was just saying in terms of the like-for-like swap, I think the drop from Saliba to Holding is too big,
massive.
Yeah,
to be
it's-
honest.
I'll give you a
Massive.
great example. One time, Antonio's run down the left channel. Foot race with Holding. He stopped the ball, he's pushed it past him. He's got to the box, and Holding has just done this desperate lunge.
Yeah, he had
I've
to.
got my hands on my head like this. I think it's penalty.
No, he had
Bro,
to. Because he was just about to
Yeah.
go in the box.
Yeah.
So he thought, you know what?
you hold it. Yeah. But Saliba, I don't see him, Antonio doing that to Saliba. Number
No.
one, he's not beating him in a foot race.
Yeah.
And number two, he's positioned himself in a certain way. Not gonna lie though, Antonio, I think he's been on the pre-workout and that, bro. He looks like wham.
He's always been like that.
Was he?
Nah, he's always been like that since Mitchell days. He's always been
Yeah.
like
So,
that.
that's
So-
a great point, Kim.
So yeah, I think I know you're saying like, have you got the tools? I think the issue that Arsenal right now, where Liverpool are at kind of pre-Van Dijk, you've got a reasonably, not even reasonably good, you've got a very good first 11.
Yeah.
When Van Dijk came in, our first 11 levels went up. When your first 11 players are not there, the drop-off, as John mentioned, the drop-off in quality is a bit too big for you to sustain, especially at this part of the season.
Actually,
Like-
let me refine that a little bit. Sorry,
Yeah.
just a little bit. I think I wouldn't even say quality. I think Arteta has worked really hard to get these guys to play the system he wants in a very specific way. So when I look at someone like Tierney, and I won't take credit for this because a friend of mine mentioned it today. When you look at someone like Tierney, he hasn't started that many games in a row, etc. So he could do what he wants on the training ground. So there's certain moments where the pass he makes is probably not the pass Arteta wanted that moment. It's probably it's a different pass to what Shinchenko would make, etc. So even if your quality is the same, when he's playing such a specific system, if you're not playing regularly, or you're not playing 5-6 games in a row, there are points in the game where you make a pass you're not supposed to. You might not be in the right place. So to your point, there are things where it's the system as well. You got to play the system, and I think that's the thing. So quality is good because I actually think we've probably got 12 and a half, 13 and a half players because Vieira I think is a good player, but he needs to find himself and get playing the Arteta way.
But good managers have a backup plan. They have a plan B. They can adjust on the fly. Okay, if I take off Ødegaard and bring on Fabio Vieira, he's not Ødegaard, but what can he do? How can I incorporate his strengths in this system? Do I need to now stop allowing Vieira to do free roll like I was allowing Ødegaard and then bring someone else here, have a bit more rigidity and then slow the tempo down? Like good managers are able to adjust on the fly.
But that takes time, right? So at the pace that we've been recruiting, I think that takes time. And that was one of my early criticisms of him, of 8th place and the 5th. But it takes time. And I can imagine if they carry on recruiting like this in 2 seasons' time, I can imagine him being like Pep. Like, you don't put any Arsenal players in your fantasy team because you don't know who the hell's going to start.
Yeah.
There's only 4 players that are going to start. You don't even know. I think that's how it's going to be.
I think we got to recognise as well that, granted, Arteta's had his tutelage under Pep, but
He's a different guy.
this is a new experience for him as well. Like you say, he's had 8th, 5th. Now you're in a legitimate title race.
Yeah.
So everyone's saying, he should be doing X, Y, Z. But like the players, this is his first time in that position as well.
And
So
Pep
you
ain't
can-
there, and this person ain't there, and that person
Yeah,
ain't
so
there.
you can kind of, it's easy for me to say it as a non-Arsenal fan, but you can kind of forgive him for him kind of learning on the job.
Yeah, 100%. No,
So-
100%.
That's why I'm like,
He's been judged by his own standards now, in my opinion.
yeah, because he's had a better season than anyone expected. So everyone just be like, oh well, he's got the formula. Well, no, because like you say, he had a really good start to the season. In the middle of the season, as T mentioned, they had the resilience behind them. Now they've got to try and close out and finish games. It's new for Arteta, so you can't be too harsh on him.
And you can also see where they wanted to fix some of this stuff, right? Some of the attempted signings we tried to make, Caicedo, all these things, you can see some of that. But what I don't want to do is just do Arsenal, innit? West Ham scored 2 goals. They turned up. Right?
Yeah,
They were fighting for their lives. And that's some of the things as well that isn't in Arteta's control. You have to factor into the balance. And I think we talked about this before. When you're looking at certain fixtures now at this side of the season, you might say, oh, they're going to Southampton or whatever. Well, people are fighting for their lives, you know? And West Ham
have still got quality. They got Rice. They got Paqueta.
Declan Rice, yeah. Basmati, bruv.
All right, listen. I was early start of the season. What was the talk?
The fantasy team.
When I kept putting him in the squad.
Oh yeah, keep rubbish you.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't only me.
It was.
No, but I didn't say he wasn't. He's a very player. I said you don't put Declan Rice in your fantasy team. That's a difference.
They might rubbish you as well.
No. It wasn't. It was Dane.
Dane, yeah. We just said you don't put a DM in your fantasy team for points.
No, I would lie. Man joined in from the sidelines. I did a little.
Yeah, but the reason why is because at that point in time, everything was going through him.
Yeah. No, he's a joke.
Literally everything was going through him.
Edu, make that happen, yeah? Caicedo and Declan.
So as an Arsenal fan, T, based on that performance, if you're Arteta, what's your approach for the next few games? You've dropped points in back-to-back games. You now know you can't afford to do that anymore.
Next game's at home, by the way.
What do you mean approach? What do you mean?
What's your thought process? Like, how are you attacking the next game? Are you, going all guns blazing, 3 points is a must, a lot of pressure on, or are you just kind of trying to maintain a level-headed approach to these next set of games? Bearing in mind, City is 2 games away?
No, I'm telling them this is it. Southampton is it.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Southampton is it. If you don't win that game, forget it.
I don't think he needs to change much, to be honest.
No, I don't think he should change anything. I think if one criticism that I can give to Arteta, because you lot say I don't ever criticize him, he shouldn't have played KT like Zinchenko. He shouldn't have told him to do that role. I think he should have just kept him as is.
But then doesn't that disrupt your system? Because it's all like dominoes, right?
No, in a way, yeah.
Alright.
But I feel like we had enough on the pitch to do the job against West Ham, and I think KT would have been fine. Left back, I think Xhaka would have been fine. I felt like it would have been okay.
Yeah, I think it was difficult enough that Antonio holding matchup. Even if we played our normal Arsenal game, if it was cool, but then with the mistake, with Saka missing, and Saka, he's not leading the team in terms of his vocal, but his performances, etc. I think he can set a tone in the team.
Yeah, everyone raises.
Yeah, so when he missed the penalty, it was bad enough. And so Antonio, I think he grew another 1 or 2 inches, and he just
They all did. They all did.
Question. Even Suchek.
Next game is
question.
Yeah, he's been missing.
Suchek's been on job for the last 2 seasons.
Huh?
He has.
Yeah.
No.
He has.
No.
He hasn't still.
Last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
He had that goal scoring season.
He was playing like Prime Fabinho yesterday.
Yeah, bruv. He had the season off.
He's been one of their better players in the last 2-3 years.
Last season, he was nowhere to be seen.
All right, cool. All right. The live score, Liverpool leads, is feeding through, but we'll get to that game. All right, let's wrap this up and look at some of the more interesting scores. Spurs. Any more thoughts on Liverpool Arsenal? T, are we winning it?
Yeah,
I like you, man.
Listen, we go Southampton, we win. Go to City.
Arsenal, West Ham.
Anything can happen. It's one game.
It's still in your hands,
Anything can happen.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Ultimately,
and if we come out of there without losing,
yeah,
anything can happen.
Swing blow for blow. Yeah,
that's it, man.
Yeah.
So I'm in it to win it, mate. We're there.
I'm gonna stand on it. Put it on tape. We're winning the league.
Wow! So you're finally standing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you said it last week as well. Like, not with as much vim, but you were like,
we're winning the league still. We're winning the league. They have to.
Okay.
They can't do this if they're not winning, innit?
I hear that.
I don't want to back any of them out.
I respect it.
that run of games though.
Newcastle away. That's it.
Brighton
at home. I'm backing. I'm backing my team.
I understand that, but you can't say Brighton at home.
No, I'm saying Brighton at home. I'm backing Arsenal.
Yeah.
You're
Brighton,
really easy.
Brighton away. Man City. That's what.
You know what? I don't think that. Like, you're talking like Chris Houghton still managing Brighton.
No. I see.
Brighton,
I know what Brighton's on.
No, he said he's seen Brighton can deal with Man City.
Yeah.
I'm
But
talking about you against
I'm
Brighton.
saying we're at home, and I feel like we
If it
can
was
handle
Brighton
that.
away. No, honestly, if it
Either
was,
home or away, I think Man City and yourselves are both
Wait,
not having
let's
easy
be-
time.
look,
I went there. It was 4-2. Arsenal away at Brighton. I was there.
and let's be clear. Let's be clear. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy. But out of the two, I'd rather be at home to Brighton.
Yeah.
If this was WhatsApp, I'd be starring hella messages right now.
But it's on tape.
What
I
would
know,
you
what
rather,
do you
home or away?
I know,
We got them home,
I'm
City
just
have
saying,
got them
I
away.
like your confidence.
Your
innit?
terracotta third kit move, man.
Like,
Don't be a hater.
droopy, bro. Droopy out here.